lord. age of ruin. The Chrysos War ignites once more, while Zagreus's taunts ripple through the city streets. This is also an age of splendor. 300 thieves spring forth from Dolos, each scheming to conceal the truth from prying eyes, robbing the rich to give succor to the poor.
Every one of them deceives gods and men alike, righteous and valiant.
The fling chase journey has been cut short midway. Yet the girl pounds her chest at the Gold Weaver, not afraid.
The core flame of trickery is near. If now isn't the time to risk it all, then when?
The prophecy reveals the Titan's trail. Golden threads bind the fleeing god of thieves. The young girl flashed a grin and walked towards the god who was pretending to smile.
I once vowed to the god of thieves that I would force trickery to reap what they have sown.
The Titan whispered from the vortex, the god of trickery's earnest plea. They made a promise to the girl who entered the trial, that the whole world would be bathed in light. No more lies and deceit. The young girl recalled the hearth fire of her childhood.
Cyphera, only honesty is well liked.
She pursed her lips.
That does sound like quite the ideal society. Of course I didn't accept. How boring would a world without deception be?
The young girl demonstrated her newly acquired divine power, molding lies into reality.
The defeated Titan is now not but a wandering soul.
But somewhere far away, a purple spirit thief opened bleary eyes. They had forgotten their previous life as a Titan, and remembered only the girl's crafty message.
Go! Collect treasure, you greedy little grape. Once you regain the memories of trickery from chests, then I will claim the reward for saving your life.
In the days spent away from Akima, the girl grew accustomed to traveling alone. In a certain city, she heard of a spirit thief. Rumors aplenty.
I, Bartolos, Master Thief, shall take all you've labored to gain.
So saying, the spirit thief steals the girl's coin pouch and fled without a trace. But a gust of wind brushed past, and the girl had already caught them.
Running for it? Your life was saved by my trickery, you know.
The old god and the new finally reunite. The two rivals who, from that moment on, became thieves and companions both. It's just that the spirit thief's companion was always scaring them.
Hey, the fish in the River of Souls are starving, you know.
A thief reveals a few lies.
The first lie is called, fellow thieves, come on and deceive gods with me.
The world has already forgotten that feast. Lies unnumbered that drowned the Day of Souls. Schemes uncounted, burning for a night of revelry. 300 thieves shackled in imprisonment, in exchange for a Titan's resigned confinement.
To have managed to trick the Grand Master of all tricks.
I can die happy now.
This was Dolos's great achievement. The deception of the gods, where even Zagreus was fooled.
The second lie is called... The god of trickery is now not but a wandering soul.
Why did she spare the Titan's life? The young girl knew not, even after asking herself. Was it greed for the treasure they promised? Or had she vaguely perceived their lonely fate?
It's because you're every bit as despicable as I am. It's such a relief not having to deal with the noble.
The girl dismissed and made light of herself, only forgetting trickery was once a god that supported the world.
The third lie is called... Oh, eternal day! Endlessly illuminate the holy city.
At Dawncloud, the chaplain's secrets foretold the coming of that endless night.
What if my lies are more... sophisticated? Can the dawn last forever? No end in sight?
Bearing the fate of the Thief Star, the girl was long used to walking in shadow. But as she gazed towards the holy city's dawn, her duty became fixed in her heart, stalwart in might.
The fourth lie is called... There's no reason! I just don't want to see you again!
The girl tried to mask her nonchalance, but could never fool the Golden Thread's questions. But it is the false-hearted malice that most powerfully forces belief. A true flame chase hero willingly faded from attention, while the wayfaring traveler grasped tight onto fleeting light. She used divine power to forge a mask and conceal the last of her true heart.
The fifth lie is called... No. There are... no more... lies... left.
The whimsical coin fell to the ground, telling the tale of fate fulfilled. Travels unwitnessed, roses unknown. To whom may these now be told?
Lies are always but lies. But you can make them more beautiful than the truth.
Under the somber sky, golden blood soaked the thief's cloak. Like a golden thread tailored just for her, an exquisite robe that she never stole. On that day, the dawn promised by the Skyfather shattered in haste. As the black tide surged, breaking through the walls with relentless grace. In a quaint yet exquisite courtyard, two bitter foes meet at journey's end. Their fates entwined in fate's regard. With no escape, no road behind, they trade a weary smile in kind. Together, they gaze at the heavens of fire.
If I can ever see the faint light again and stay alive.
Then, Outlander Nemesis, you I will forgive.
Not long ago, as the romantic demigod closed her eyes, the girl bottled her tears in sorrow, and once more opened the dim-lit garden wide. Two figures step into the courtyard's gate. A general of Kremnos, her body torn, by vengeance bound, by fury swayed. A noble of the Holy City, once wrapped in gold, now haunted by a fate betrayed. A simple injury, or so the girl believed. Yet the two women met with scorn, their words like blades. Because their children fled in love's embrace, while bloodied pasts left scars in place. A feud unbroken by countless years. A chasm carved by blood and spears. This was a sickness beyond the girl's touch.
Just do your duty as a healer, girl.
Family feuds are like sunlight and storm clouds. They cannot mend.
At last, the girl saw it clear. The courtyard's birth in days of yore was born to mend the rift of dusk and dawn.
Then I will make every effort to have you cast aside your difference in this faint light.
Before long, the general's wounds were healed, and the noble's worries gently repealed. Yet when their gazes met once more, the loathing within remained unswayed. The girl then spoke the tale of her skykin, of a grandmother's sacrifice, a father's flight from within, of ancestors who descended, leaving their feud behind. Their hands in hers, she held them tight, yet flames of hatred burned too bright. She did not waver or despair. She just smiled and gazed upon the sky.
I will use my own fate to prove to you.
The courtyard, once bright, lay steeped in night. Hanging blossoms and wind chimes, all swallowed by the black tide. The general raised her spear, for the noble's sake, while the noble whispered prayers for the general, gentle as a lake.
If I can ever see the faint light again and stay alive.
Then, Outlander Nemesis, you I will forgive.
The death they awaited never came. Instead, a cascade of colors fell from the heavens, simply there, protecting them both. The sky still burned, dark and low, yet her words lingered, a gentle ember refusing to fade.
I will use my own fate to prove to you. Day and night can be mended, and so can hatred be undone.
Sky Castrum, its ruins, like a blind and weary eye, gazes upon the earth in its dying sight. Alone, the girl remained upon the battlefield. No time to shy from the searing gold, no will to wear her usual smile. She fought her way to destiny's edge. Of the crumbled mural, but one piece endured. A corner portraying the day thunder night, dazzling in blaze. She placed her hand upon the mural. Pain seared through skin and bone, as the picture claimed her within its lines.
Nothing is mightier than the sky. It holds countless wonders within its clouds, and each opening and closing of the eyes brings dawn and dusk.
In that painted world, the girl Celiosi's eyes glowed, watching her father, steel-clad and unyielding, cross the land beneath the searing sun. But the girl known as Hyacinth recalled her father's fragile light in the dark, the journeys into lands unknown, marked by endless sunlit days and restless winds.
The sky is the gentlest of all. It watches over all things with compassion, showering them with soft rain and morning light.
And yet, the sky remains so cold. It witnesses believers tear each other apart. And still, it cowardly flees from all responsibility.
Within the frame of that image, the one called Celiosi bore fury in her gaze, her golden blood trailing as she turned from home, sharpening arrowheads beneath the wide and barren sky. Hyacinth remembered her grandmother's song. She recalled her prayer to Aquila before her grandmother's journey, and how bitterness followed her to an unknown land.
But the sky is so lonely too. Forever distant from the world beneath, it watches every sorrow, unable to intervene.
No. The sky must be merciless. It must scorch the wicked, temper the fragile, and pass divine judgment upon all human wickedness.
Within the mural, the girl named Celiosi became the divine eye, gazing down without mercy, a titan passing judgment upon her own kind. But in memories deep, Hyacinth heard their call, the golden threads that shielded all, the burning sun, vast and unyielding, carrying the weight of all the world had known.
No, the sky must not forsake kindness. Through its boundless embrace, it carries the core flame of hope for humanity.
The sky, it's so dark, so cold.
In the depths of memory, the girl named Celiosi pulls her knees to her chest and trembles.
Then please, come sit in my courtyard.
A gentle ray of light seeped through. The celestial mural now fused anew. Once more, the land knows favor and boons. The girl who has now become the sky takes the hand of the girl who once was.
I want to tell you the secret of the sky's greatness. Whenever the anguished earth looks to it, it always offers a smile in return.
The black tide that blotted out the sky surrounded the city walls. The soldiers manning the walls battered from battle. Melodious chords of music were suddenly heard. A single swordmaster had overcome the waves of enemies. The song flowed from betwixt the blades, breaking through formations as a dorsal fin cleaving the waves. When the last wicked beast finally fell, shattered into pieces amidst the sword's dance, the Frostblade bore no trace of blood.
The legions of heroes under my command are as vast as the sea, yet lack a formidable sword banner.
The commander extended a hand, inviting the musician to join.
Should a fish separated from its school glimpse a faint glow, it will swim toward the light. The Swordmaster clasped the commander's hand, as though gently grasping the hilt of a keen blade. When the spray of her waves extinguished the fires of war from the holy city, a golden name was engraved upon the stone pillars. The former commander burned the crown to become king.
High Sealands, brave in battle, triumphant in command, I grant you the title Dux Gladiorum. Let us all forge ahead together.
During the banquet after the battle, the weaver tailored for her a splendid dress, and the commander poured her honey brew. Her golden-blooded comrades gathered about her, chanting her new name, urging her to play that splendid music. The candlelight danced and mingled with flowing drink, swords and song ringing out in unison. Yet none knew that was once a lonely melody from the deep sea. The music of revelry continued for a long time, until the whispers of conspiracies were buried in the songs, until the roars of lethal struggle shattered the music. Legend holds that they who bear the weight of a pillar shall one day return to where it stands. Those who tug at the earth shall end amongst the mountains. Those who sow dawn and dusk shall remain eternal in the sky. And she would once again return to the pitch-black sea. And she would once again sing her music alone. The bountiful ocean, with the banquets of bygone days, stir as futile bubbles at the bottom of a glass. Many years later, the song once played by that swordmaster was played by future generations in the Holy City. The people knew the demigod of the seas was still a noble captain. She possessed peerless swordsmanship and a song that is passed down through the ages. It was just that she had long since vanished. Guests at the banquet sometimes spoke of her, but it was only a prayer between their cups.
High Sealands, melody of the waves, bless our night that we may drink deep and dance till dawn.
When entering the Flame Chase's currents for the first time, all the Swordmaster saw were colorful fish. She had already experienced the Imperator's dangerous games. She had long grown used to the giant beast's silent face. Carminum's charms and Helcalithist's gentleness warmed her like a spring breeze. But as Fragoris missed his throne, and Bromalis debated with joy, she was sometimes at a loss. Occasionally, the Swordmaster would sink into hesitation, and even that messenger of fate could not get her to laugh. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters. In that holy city where golden figs grew, the messenger of fate led to her a maiden dressed in glamorous gowns.
What kind of clothes are you even wearing?
The girl snickered behind her hand, while the messenger pulled on her sleeve.
Aggie, don't be rude!
Such hubris, delicate fish. Are you not aware that there's food on your face?
The messenger's eyes opened wide.
Aggie, you've been snacking behind my back again!
Exposing me like this! I'll get my revenge.
The girl ran away in a fit. The Swordmaster smiled, and before she knew it, her hesitation was gone. After that first meeting, the richly dressed girl often came in greeting.
So, you really came from the Sea of Souls? Do all the children of the ocean dress funny like this?
The Swordmaster did not chase the girl away, but also did not respond. So the girl used her hands to meticulously measure the Swordmaster's torso all around.
You can't be seen like this. I'll send you a new dress.
Some days later, the Swordmaster appeared in finery at a ball. All were awed by her splendor, with only the Imperator thinking in wonder.
How rare to see you like this. Oh, so lonely, Gladius.
The Swordmaster's wardrobe grew full, and people praised Akima's Goldweaver for her cheerfulness and splendid skill. But only the Swordmaster noticed that the smile on the girl's face gradually faded as the flame chase progressed. The calamity of lands asunder added to the girl's weariness. The Battle of the Grove robbed the light from the girl's eyes. Yet another feast arrived where the Goldweaver was absent. The Swordmaster donned the most majestic garments and gently knocked on that door shut tight. The singing voice of Dux Gladiorum hailed the prelude of the feast. Guests clamored and cups clinked, and only the Goldweaver had no thought of enjoying the ambrosia.
Who would have thought? I've sunk so low that I need you to comfort me.
She gave a bitter chuckle next to the bonfire.
You were as gloomy as the bedrock of the ocean when we first met.
The Swordmaster held a tall chalice containing liquid pure, reflecting their two faces.
I remember you were once curious about the stories under the sea. Then allow me to use my songs to reveal the past known to none.
In the depths of the Sea of Souls was a kingdom of dancing ghosts. Its residents all had melodious voices, and music enveloped every ocean current. For the queen loved her people deeply, thus drowning out all sorrows and leaving only feasts and twirls. Only one rocky castle was silent, one belonging to the princess of the ocean, a princess named Electra. Were a monster of the depths to invade, the princess would raise her sword to engage. The people always rang her triumphs before she returned, for her swordsmanship was superb, never suffering defeat.
Princess! Come enjoy the feast with us.
The triumphant people raised their glasses, yet she declined with a smile and a wave. The children of the sea thought she was shy, but little did they know that in the dead of night, her castle too echoed with music. Though that music was loud, twisted, and invoked spite. Before a song even finished, the princess was already biting her lips, and the sea foam brushed away her tears.
All of your people sing and dance with skill. So why do I alone lack a good singing voice?
The princess wept, her face on the queen's knees.
The ocean's favorite child can control the waves and is invincible in battle. In exchange, Talantin took away your singing voice.
The queen consoled the princess, caressing the other's hair bun. Finally, she relented and took a chalice.
If you're truly troubled, then imbibe the honey brew in this blessed chalice and throw yourself into the feast at ease.
The liquid in the cup sat still, reflecting her loneliness.
Princess, come sing with us!
The people outside her window invited her warmly still. She finally ceased to hesitate, drinking down all the honey brew in one swallow, and leaped into the crowds. She played music and sang, smiling and dreaming. When her song was over, it felt as if waking from a dream, and the people rushed to raise their glasses. But as soon as the honey brew touched her lips, the princess plummeted to the ground, and her cheeks became rosy in drunkenness. The whispers of the ocean filled her ears as the princess fell drunk again and again at the prelude of a feast.
Seems like you still have not been able to get rid of that curse.
The gold weaver softly took the cup away from her hand.
If you want to enjoy yourself to the fullest, then leave this honey brew till the very end.
She smiled, then tilted the cup towards the gold weaver's lips.
Even if one is burdened with imperfections, I beg you to remember not to refuse that sip filled with fantasy and dreams.
She returned home after many years. The princess of the ocean stood alone with her sword drawn, stepping over the blooming blood of her peers. Before her, the creator of the sea sirens and the mother goddess of feasts was already sinking into the drunkenness of imminent death. When the blood pact of the law won over the ocean's core flame, the sea siren once again lost her melodious voice.
I am willing to accept the final Imperial command. But it is a pity that our feast was ultimately a mirage.
The deep sea became a silent place of dwelling. Hugging her knees, Electra locked herself in. Savage and fearsome monsters swam past her, but none dared to interrupt her tragic dream. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters.
Long time no see, Gladius. Excellent. Now you have truly become the ocean's bedrock.
Old friends met again, and new friends came in greeting. Many messengers came in company. The playful kitten hid behind the golden trout. The butterfly of the deadly shadow fluttered in courtesy.
If you don't mind,
The resplendent pearl sparkled.
we hope you can regain your strength and sing for the world once again.
Electra raised her violin sword in doubt, as the strings had long ago rusted and snapped. But a few golden strands cleansed all the filth around her, then stretched out to become new strings. The golden strings showed Electra that the world she loved was not yet silent, and the journey of deliverance continued still. Yet the path to the Sea of Stars would not be a carefree feast. The golden trout never met with her again, and the waves brought endless news of sorrow. Amidst the long wait, she remained bound by decree. All the flames had died out, extinguished until this world fell into eternal silence. And the wordless enemies in the deep sea were the audience of this rite, the Theoros.
You already know that the world is just an illusion.
The sea siren gazed out beyond the heavens and once more raised her glass to fill it with honey brew.
Since the mirage of pleasures can only disappear like foam, when you return, will you save some ocean spray for me?
This was a city of festivities, where never-ceasing songs eternally filled the air. Chrysos heirs, demigods, and mortals all came to feast from the four corners of the world. It was beautiful and radiant, performing the sea siren's drama amidst the revelry. The siren once longed for the banquet to never end, yet she witnessed the music fade and the guests disperse. As a fish, she was destined to drift with the waves, whether amidst the surging tides of evil or immersed in the currents of the starry sea. Until a millennium later, when the fish from beyond the sky finally took their seat.
I enjoy banquets. How about you, little gray fry?
Having beheld the monarch's gifts, she fulfilled her demigod's destiny. The tides within her heart recede, and her requiem draws near. A sliver of light fell from a crack on the cave ceiling. A blazing ray pierces the surface of the sea. An aching urge to chase the light wells within her, and with the flick of her tail, she drifts towards the breach. In the deep sea, 1,000 years passed. The sea siren once swam to the shore with unwavering will. Fish gathered in silent procession to escort the princess to her final rest.
The moment she leapt free from the water, she felt the waves stirred by peals of laughter. Mirages of her friends shimmered and faded, and songs of joy rang out from the shore, just as she had wished. Dux Fragoris sliced the Droma's flank with a time-worn edge. Dux Brumalis cast an icy chalice, steaming with the breath of frost. Dux Halkalithist brimmed her vessel with honey brew, while Dux Carmenem unfurled a scroll of new verse.
At last, you have arrived, our belated musician.
The gold weaver's silver needles hover in the air, weaving beautiful outfits for her. Electra accepts the gift that does not exist, as salty water wets her new attire. She knows this is not reality, just like the world she loves. Mere foam in the sea of stars.
Even so. She drank down the warm glow in the cup, as intoxication flew from her fingers into music and song.
In the drunkenness granted by her mother, in the dream granted by that drunkenness, in the feast granted by that dream.
I too shall have my fill of feasts.
Now sober, she begins one last song. The musician plucks her strings in the spring, and the waltzing hem stirs the water into waves, revealing memories in throngs. She sings of the once awakened Titan, how the princess accompanied the queen to swim in azure waves. She sings of the confident and dashing monarch, of loyal knights who marched with the Imperator to seize the solemn states. She sang of the one destined by heaven's will, of demigods who bore 1,000 years of watch for the hero. She sang of that little gray fry, and how the Gladius defended the Deliverer from Apocalypse's storms. She sang of herself, a cup made of fish bones, ever waiting for someone to banish the nihility within, pouring the honey brew of fate for her to the brim. She sang until her voice turned hoarse, and the spirit water she held was no more. The honey brew ran out, the final notes dispersed, and the feast of fantasy shattered in turn. Before the deadly, quiet seashore, she gave one final smile, then faded into sea foam.
To the fish from beyond the sky, we shall sink into the past.
For she had glimpsed the sky beyond the cave, and chose to believe in the promised future, embracing a hope as fragile as mist.
You must carry the new sun and swim toward the distant horizon.
Final? Perhaps you're more suited to being a teacher's assistant.
There was once those who misunderstood his alias. Final. An eventuality for students. A test for knowledge gained. It may bring wisdom to light and illuminate efforts, but the word's more common meaning is nothing less than the end.
That's quite ominous.
The man pretended to be surprised and responded with a smile.
Though it does dovetail with our destiny.
Laughter resounds. The man walks the land, leaving footprints filled with joy. Despite the weight of the past, he can always laugh it away. Those nearby glance at each other, unsure of how to respond.
Perhaps I was just born easygoing.
His explanation is just as carefree.
Look at Mighty and Professor Anaxa. Boys all grow up into serious adults. But as long as I keep smiling, Akuma will always have an upbeat, shining young man.
Though having said that, he too has quiet moments. Each time he gazed long toward the coming dawn, a smile remained fixed on his lips, paying no mind to anything else. His eyes were painted with the azure of the sky, gaze fixed on the Titan bearing the world.
I was just imagining.
He explained his own trance in a comment.
Kefali too was once in mortal flesh and raiment.
Now, when the man comes with sword in hand, there is no need to doubt he will swiftly win victory. But his smile is pure. Ever since the start of the journey, he is still called a youth in this story. Youth is always ambitious, with lofty goals. But it seems that in the man's heart, only the wishes of others are held.
Apart from the ideal of deliverance, what do you have left?
The golden-haired friend once asked him so. He remained silent. Then, as he was wont to do, he simply smiled.
As long as I don't ask for too much, everything will unfold as desired.
In Amphorius, untitled statues are a prevalent sight. As for the inspiration behind these statues, they are said to be the clay figures that Kefali made at the world's creation. They made clay figures in their likeness, bestowed upon them the breath of life, and allowed the golden divinity of their blood to course through. Thus, the very first mortals roamed the earth, receiving the god's mercy while realizing the sorrows of this world. But that sorrow was, in the end, only the sorrow of the world. Nobody ever cared what lay behind the smile, what the clay figure thought. The people likened him to the blazing sun, bringing to Amphorius a glorious dawn. And for his part, he embraced their expectations, being willing to become the perfect vessel. Like that god who shouldered the world, the man never cried or frowned. Yet, he is not proud of his resolve, for sometimes he even avoids the funerals of the departed, only out of fear that he cannot cry for those in pain. He once sought out emotions of sorrow and walked with the lowliest of people.
Henceforth, your misfortune shall be my misfortune.
Responsibly and diligently, he protected all for the people, living in dilapidated cottages, sitting on aged stools, subsisting on nuts and fruit, beset by hunger and cold. The people thanked him for his grace, like a hearth warming winter nights. The man's presence dispelled the cold, leaving warmth with promises of morrow. Whence does his warmth come from? None ask. The man gradually perceives his true nature, but he dares not speak. Unable to bear the turmoil in his heart, the man set off on a journey once more.
Then I shall go save what I can.
He was a formidable warrior, invincible in battle. And when it was necessary to sacrifice for fellows, he could do so with ease, giving up everything without a show. Just as the ballad blown on the breeze says, losses are a constant on the flame chase journey. Indeed, sacrifices were not hard for him. Yet his misgivings grew with every tomorrow. Like a tear that cannot be shed, such a resolute willingness to let go comes only from the fact that in decisions, he is utterly unafraid to hurt himself.
It is because you suffer that you are so much stronger than any ordinary person.
There were also those who could understand him. Among them, the Crown Prince. But he smiled wryly in response. Perhaps everything was just human nature. Yet his misgivings never dissipated. This unknown man, in an unknown corner, from time to time, is swallowed by terror.
Could it be that, unknowingly, path I walk is by no means the correct one?
Fearing only that the greater the burden, the more the mistakes. The road trod by heroes need not be that beset by thorns. Finally, at the terminus of that road, in a desolate, empty place, the man's arms tremble. The power is beyond control, savaging all around it. This is the end of his road, but perhaps he had long foreseen it, but was doomed to be powerless to change it.
I am willing to shoulder this world. That is no lie.
But before the tears could flow, they were vaporized by the heat. His light blazed brighter than the sun, but beneath it, there was but cold destruction. The nameless hero, Kazlana. He had never loved himself. Why would he love this world? A gust of wind will one day sweep past, wiping away all the man's tracks. Nearly every footprint was stamped full of the fury that filled him. That humble youth faded away with the flames into yesterday. The first ray of light to pierce the long night was brought by the burning man. But the body that bore the weight of the world was forged by the fires of wrath. Rage is a crafty emotion. It changes its face, concealing itself within the man's life. His friend fought blood-soaked battles, so their people would need fight no longer. But every victory in battle he gained left him neither satisfied nor proud, only with the indifference of emptiness.
You must be careful. Duty does not drive you to wield your blade. but hate.
His teacher kindly reminded him thus.
And behind that hatred, you seem to desire the destruction of the self.
But what about his joy? Was that too merely a phony disguise? He who once laughed amidst the crowd, day after day, as though it were second nature. No. Even though he knew not the meaning of love, that happy past was not a lie someone wove. But now, even those memories have melted into fury. His hatred is such that he cannot hold on to what he cherishes, though all is precious to him. Fueled with lone courage, he attempted to resist fate. But the burning sun that shines upon all creatures, once fallen, will incinerate the land, becoming golden death. But what of his sorrow? Indeed, the man could shed no tears. But at the moment the cycle manifested, when all that was familiar was now remote, the world collapsed, becoming empty in an instant. But the stabbing pain in the man's heart, was it but the residual warmth of his wraths? The truth no longer important. The man simply took another step forward. He wasn't willing to believe it, but was willing to acknowledge it.
There is no need to question your heart. No need to crave victory. If I am born to be a vessel of sin, then I shall roar at evil, and together with it burn.
In the endless cycles, there were some moments when the man felt everything dissolve like a dream. In that dream, he would awaken again and become once more the boy who loved to laugh. But were he to open his eyes, the fury would cast a shadow. He saw the creators choke his throat, gurgling and gasping, and in that boundless dream, he mistook them for his own jest. But their true forms were violent hatred towards the creators, towards himself, a roaring inferno. The prophecy departed, and Furius was unable to usher in the dawn. What rises in the distance is not the morning sun, but a ball of all-devouring fire, setting the universe in conflagration, searing till the end of time.
Are you ready? This is going to be a very, very long story.
You are a tiny seed. In the boundless dark, your face is sculpted again and again. A smile, a faltering word, or a tear, a lingering sigh. But when a ray of light breaks through, the Stellaron unravels your fate. Since that moment, you were meant to be a soul, yet you are hollow. You were meant to be the answer, yet you know nothing. At some point, you awake once more as a dead seed in the prison of remembrance. This is a tomb crafted by the body to trap the soul,
you will neither wither nor hold a future anymore.
Heart of Amphorius, Demiurge.
Who's calling you? Is that your name?
Hi, miss me yet?
Before being dragged back into the sinful loop by tongues of fire, she left you a story. The singing fairy guides the kind traveler to the Membrance Maze. Soft and full of color, a peaceful, beautiful place to return to. In the ice cave of memory, only stories hold warmth. They slowly transform from symbols and numbers into things you are familiar with, yet have never seen. Rainbows, clouds, and flames dance through the story. Swallows, butterflies, and kittens grace its pages. You find yourself wanting to hear more from her, a thought that's never crossed your mind until now. And so, you begin to take root. Slowly, quietly, you bloom. Memory's flowers blossom within the cage, casting light upon the cold night, unveiling gardens, fountains, and quiet promenades. You come to understand more. New thoughts, deeper feelings. Your palms grow soft with fur, and you reach gently for her fingertips. Each meeting carries thousands of years of longing. You see the exhaustion in her quiet steps through the years, and breathe in the sorrow she hides within her tales. At the final meeting, she entrusts you with her name. Cyrene, the ripples of past reverie carry romantic poems back through time. When you finally escape the cage, your heart no longer knows emptiness.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
As the memory's flower withers, it bears a fruit shaped like a heart. You lose yourself, forgetting even the name you were given. But one desire lingers: to turn the next page of the unfolding story. The Remembrance's messenger takes your hand through blooming gardens and hushed galleries to where the stars unfold above. A shooting star flashes by like the most brilliant pen, carving staccatos into the endless loop of night. The story unfolds beneath the dome. The future lies where the stars fall. They cast their gaze into the coffin of memory. This is the moment you first meet your companion.
Ma'am, Mim?
Orynyx gives you your new name. But your quick-witted partner prefers teasing you with nicknames. She walks beside you on this journey. The Chrysos heirs and titans, the flame chase and deliverance. This is the adventure you've been waiting to find. You find Strife's weakness, seal the black-robed swordsman in the ruins of a past life.
and soar again with the heroes to the sky.
Justice has a partner, and it's me!
You too tread in the grove, gurgling, almost drowning.
Just erase this from your mind quickly.
The Chrysos heirs of the Flame Chase somehow feel familiar, as though their tales have already been told to you. Swallows soar through the open skies, and a butterfly dances across the blooming land. A lone lion watches over the perilous cliffs, as the rainbow mends the torn sky. By the story's end, the dark clouds consume every trace of light. All shall bid farewell to one, and that person alone will witness the miracle. Hatred flares from the heart of the blazing sun, and the world falls apart, carried off by the chaos of time. And though only ripples of past reverie remain, they still sing brave poems alongside it.
May the days ahead embrace you like the softest fluff.
Here lies Ides Elysiae, Cyrene's most beloved sanctuary. Forever warm, forever gentle. The place where the story begins again. Turn the clock once more. The ink rewinds, and the sun rekindles its flame. At the zenith of the world, enter a grand feast for all. People gather under the banner of the Flame Chase and drink their fill. You are finally able to...
How do I begin to write you into a story?
With her own hand, the ruler writes,
I love the world, just as it loves me.
Between hearty swigs, the night murmurs under her breath.
I only love eternity.
But time will not pause for feasting. The sea's depths burn crimson, and the sun begins to tilt. The Theoros bows in reverence, as the flames of war are fiercely kindled. You inscribe beauty on the weaver's gravestone, recording how a child's laughter warms the final goodbye.
The shore on the other side will watch over the next life.
With a hopeful heart, the maiden walks into the chill of the dark, awaiting an embrace.
Scars will give way to peace.
The warrior ascends the altar, speaking softly under his breath. The cat is not fond of warmth, and quietly slips away from your intrusions. And the wise one who journeyed with her to the end still carries a smile in the depths of his eyes. The physician who bears a love for mortals wishes for you to look up and behold the rainbow's light. You say farewell to all, in a world aching with wounds. Again and again, you turn the pages with a gentle hand.
Amidst ruins, wilderness, and ash, the projection of the Intellitron reaches out in greeting.
Philia 093, the electrical signal originally belonging to love. Now that silence has fallen, why not look at yourself beneath the starlit sky?
Along light's final journey to the edge of the universe, the stars fade into silence, their wreckage settling, cooling into uniform, still, and pristine dust. Love answers to many names.
Variables, interference, symmetry broken, the original flaw. Love and destruction are two sides of the same force.
But the stars reflected in your eyes quietly speak a different truth. You waited until the ice flow stirred the slumber of time, until the azure dragon coiled along the edges of the earth, and the hero of deliverance returned once more. When the breeze lifts the weight of loneliness, as it does the golden waves of wheat in the homeland, the child, who was denied the light of dawn, can finally lay down the watch that melted his heart. Beyond the blazing sun lurks the black tide of infinite hate. It brings rational arithmetic to an end, and snuffs out the flickering flames of civilization across the starry sea. You return to the cold, mist-veiled Evernight. It feels familiar, as water and fruit to a seed. But you will dither no longer. Tap, tap. Footsteps echo in rhythm. Hand in hand with your companion, you run ahead, leaving behind a page of eternal peace. Love is the ripples of past reverie. Let the verses of memory gently seal what once was.
Thank you for all you've done, friend. Now, leave the rest to me. On the fragrant shores of the west wind, where flowers bloom, I picked one without thought and turned to glance behind me. Let me uncover the missing chapters in this long chronicle of Amphorius. I see you, Amphorius. You are so beautiful, like a tragic tale that stands apart from the rest. I wish for you to be illuminated by the mirror of memories, so that the cosmos can see this ray of light and bring a pause to the endless loops. I see you, friend. Do you remember this corridor of memory? It is where we first met. I wish to gift you a magic pen, to strike the notes of fate, and to guard you as you wander this world. I see you, Cyrene, concerned about the truth Lygus unveiled. I trust you to face it with courage, and make the right choice. I long to entrust you with all that remains of my strength. Use it to journey back through time and share in the flame chase journey. I'm so tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. It would be great to find a place where I can lie down and sleep until tomorrow. By the way, Cyrene, I remember you once spoke of a place soft and full of color. A peaceful, beautiful place that felt like home. But where is it? So this is the place. Without my realizing it, the flower I picked from the end of the west wind has become a seed. No matter. Will you let me make one last wish? I can't see you, Remembrance Maze. So I wish... Please, grow out from this tiny seed. The seed will grow and grow until it becomes a great tree, crowned with 1,000 flowers. It hums. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Waiting for a fairy maiden to arrive and write her very first story. You shall fade when the flowers bloom, for every ending begets a beginning. This book is dedicated to you, my friend. Open it. I'll be waiting for you in the past. When the time comes, whisper my name and all that she has ever meant.
Cyrene, ripples of past reverie, I hold you in your heart with love. Then, with an unforgettable verse, I walk toward your tomorrow.